Hey everybody, Mrs. K here, and this week we are reviewing value. So remember, value has to do with the light and the dark of different colors. We are going to be using value to create a 3D form. So we've done a cube before, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. We are going to be doing hatching and cross-hatching on this form as opposed to just shading it in, which is what we've done before. And we're going to use a value scale to help us do it. So first, let's draw our form because it's going to be the biggest on the page. Okay, so we're going to be drawing a cube with value. So a cube is essentially starting out as the shape a square. So I'm going to draw a square. Let me make sure it's actually square-like. It's a little crooked. Hold on. That's why we use a pencil. That's better. Okay, and I'll make it a little darker so you can see it easier on the screen. All right, so we have our square. So how do we turn this square into a cube? Well, we have to extend it back into space. So I have this point, and this point here. And I'm going to make diagonal lines that kind of go off into the corner, like that. I'm going to do two more, and they're going to be the same length. So if I hold my fingers up and measure this one, it should be the same, because they're all the same. We're going to add two more lines, a vertical and a horizontal. So these diagonal lines are the same length. That means if I draw, say, this horizontal line, they should connect. And then I could draw this vertical line, and this point will connect, with this one. Okay, so now we have a 3D cube. We just have to add some value. Let's do a value scale first. So my value scale is going to be a long rectangle that's chopped up into 5 sections. Okay, and a value scale, ours anyway, is going to go from dark to light. Okay, the light one, we can just leave white. We don't need to color it in. This one, we're going to color in super, super dark. It is easier, I find, to color lightly and then keep adding it and making it darker and darker, as opposed to making it really dark and then erasing and trying to get it lighter. So let's go to the second lightest here. I'm just very lightly going to, with my pencil, create some hatching or cross-hatching marks. Hatching marks are lines that go all in the same direction. When I'm talking about hatching and value, I can leave a lot of space between the lines, and I can also make the lines very light. So this is my example of hatching. I did them very, very lightly, and there's some gaps between. So let's go to the second darkest one, the one that's in the middle. I'm going to start by making kind of the same pressure that I did before, the same gaps that I left before, but now I'm going to go back and do it again. If I do it again, then I take away some of the gaps that are there, and it starts to look a little bit darker. And I can do it again until I'm happy with it. I can also press a little bit harder with my pencil, but that overlapping is what's kind of going to get it to be a little bit darker. So now you can see that this is the lightest, this is second lightest, and then this one is kind of like a middle color. Hold on, let me plug in my computer because it's dying. All right, so what is the next step here? So we can do what we did here over again. This time I'm going to press a little bit harder with my pencil. And I'm going to go over it again and again until it's like the next step up from this one. And I'm not coloring in. I'm just making little lines. Okay, so this, and I can even do it, let me see, a little bit darker just so it's a clear difference. Okay, so now this one is like the next darkest. Now here, it's going to be really dark. So I can press hard with my pencil and my lines have to be super close together. You get the drift? Awesome. So it goes dark to light and light to dark. So we're going to use these colors to apply them to our form. So our light source, you can draw like a little sun to remind you, is going to go from over here. And it's casting down on my object. So which side is the closest to the light? This one here, because it's on top. So this one is going to be my lightest value. We can either leave it white, which I'm going to do, or you can top it over to here. Actually, I'm just going to do this one here. So using my hatching lines, all my lines go in the same direction. I just add a little bit of value. Now let's go to this side here because it's the second darkest. So I'm going to color it this color here. And this is kind of like our guide for how dark each side is going to be. So this one is the lightest. This one is the second lightest. We move to here. Okay, so lightest, and this is kind of like a medium color. Let's go to this one. It's going to be this step here, not all the way over here, this step here. Making short little lines, not scribbling. So that's the next step here. So you can tell that it already starts to look 3D. So the last thing that we have to do is do a shadow that's on the ground. So my shadow is going to kind of be like in this shape here. It's going to be this color here. It's going to start that color anyway. It's going to be super dark where it touches the object. And this, because the lines are so close together, I'm kind of scribbling with my pencil a little bit. Super dark where it touches the object. And the further it gets away from the object, the lighter it's going to get. So it's kind of like I do all of these at the end. Okay, and that's what helps make it look a lot more impressive in 3D. So let's talk about the different parts of this cube. Okay, we said the sun or a lamp or whatever's casting the light on our object is called the light source. The lightest color is called the highlight. The middle color is called the mid-tone. The side that is the darkest is called a shadow. And this thing on the ground, I thought it was called a shadow too. Well, you're partly right. It's called a cast shadow. And this thing down here, which isn't a part of our picture, but it's a tool that helped us, is called a value scale. All right, guys, I hope you remembered something. I hope you learned something. I hope you drew something. And I hope you have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye.